Beyonce. I've been lucky enough to experience one of the most iconic artists of our generation twice, and I plan on seeing her again someday. The feelings and emotions I had leading up to my concert were indescribable, from the countdown to my specific tour date, learning the set list, and of course, sharing the memories with my best friends and family. Nothing compares to the atmosphere of a concert. They're an escape from everyday life. No matter what may be bothering us outside of reality, school, work, or relationship problems, we are truly living in the moment. All artists from every genre help create nights to remember and cherish forever for their fans. These performances not only speak to our ears, but to our hearts. Those same emotions that we feel before seeing our favorite artists live, the adrenaline, the excitement, are the same way I feel about pursuing my career in live entertainment management and coordination. So, I want to make sure that every person experiences complete enjoyment no matter who their favorite artist is, what genre they like, or even if it's a sporting event that they're attending. Events are the foundation for lifelong memories, and I cherish the power one night can have on someone's life forever. So, what is live entertainment management and coordination? I basically want to be in the process of organizing and directing events, whether it's with a company or at a specific stadium. Basically manage the event as a whole and all the details as well. If that's, let's see what kind of signage or sponsorships we need, or taking care of all the dressing rooms and just making sure everything runs smoothly for the fans and the artists. And so just because of how big this field is, there's so many routes I can go. I just want to make sure that I explore all areas and job titles because I never want to judge a role without experiencing it for myself. And my quote for this year is "Be phenomenal or be forgotten" by Eric Thomas. I actually had the privilege to meet him this year. He had a meet and greet tour because he's a speaker, motivation, and I really connect with his philosophy, and he's very intense to a lot of people, but he's touched my life academically and athletics, and I basically apply this to everything I do in my life. Everything I do, I give above and beyond because, why would you want to do something if it's just going to be mediocre and not original and blend in and be forgotten? So, as you know, being a part of ISM, we had to go on interviews, and being a first-year ISM student, I definitely wanted to take advantage of this opportunity and this class. So, I definitely had a unique start to my ISM journey. Before even getting in class during the summer, I had the privilege to meet with Roxy Held. She is actually the mother of my teammate's boyfriend, and she works for a large company called Legends. It's an entertainment company, and they are in Dallas, Houston, California, New York, Florida, and even over the seas in Manchester. And she is the director of HR there at AT&T Stadium and the Star. And so I had the privilege to meet her at a Starbucks before the school year started just to get my mind set on what path I want to take. She was extremely nice to take time out of her busy schedule and meet with me. She basically went over any options I had and also shared some wisdom just on growing up and how to find yourself and what you want to do to make sure that I'm truly passionate about what I'm going to be doing and the challenges I may face. And also, a funny story, I ran into her at the opening at the Ford Stadium at the Star, so she gave me like a spontaneous behind-the-scenes tour of the Star here in Frisco. So I saw all the locker rooms and like where the players hang out, and I even ran into Jerry Jones and his security. It was kind of like mind-blowing because as I ran into them, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're about to go on the helicopter to go from the game to downtown Dallas for the Coldplay tour." So I was like, wow. And so my first real interview began with Katie Stevens. She is a business development and marketing coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys at the Star. So this being my first interview, I was just wanting to get a clear focus of all the exact routes I could do. And she really cleared the air of differentiating between, the workers that are with the company for the stadium or whether working for a specific team. She is actually specifically handling all events for the Dallas Cowboys. So she does draft day, signing day, is there for every home game, and taking care of sponsorships and getting those deals and good relationships. And her story amazed me. She reminds me a lot of what I hope to do. She got a job straight out of college. She went to A&M and interned. She could not stress the importance of interning. With my particular field, yes, like it's good to have a lot of education and college, but you don't necessarily have to go to school for an extra number of years. Interning and experience is what's mostly going to have you stand out above the rest of the crowd, and just getting your foot in the door and meeting everyone and building those relationships. And so then my next interview was with Monique Boyd. She is with Legends at AT&T Stadium. And so this was a completely different route that I was expecting, but I'm open to it looking at it now. She's actually the director of catering and special events at AT&T Stadium. And so whether that be when there's home games and she's in charge of taking care of like the locker rooms for the two teams, or private parties or pre-parties before concerts, VIP parties that they may host. And sometimes she even takes care of the dressing rooms for artists and tours. And she's had many experiences that she shared, and it's kind of mind-blowing, just all the perks and memories that you get with this job. And she had a unique start to her career. She actually had no experience coming in, but she's always had a passion for planning parties, because in high school she planned the prom, and they actually had it at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and I thought that was pretty cool. And so she started going and just getting her foot in the door. She was like, this is what I want to do, because she hated her other job. And it just shows to you, like, if you don't love your job, it's not going to last very long. Even if it pays well, you need to love what you do. And so with no experience, she decided to reach out to all these big dogs. She went to like Dallas Museum of Art, Globe Life Park for the Rangers, and I think the Stars, and almost all of them said no, just because she had no experience. But what made her stand out was she made her resume look like an invitation, almost like if it was a party or an event. And so actually Jerry Jones and them saw her when she got the job at the Dallas Museum of Art, where it's like very elegant weddings, parties, everything's to the T. And the Jones family actually invited her to come be a part of the family at the Cowboys Stadium. And so she's now there and she loves it. And just a little, thing that's kind of ironic, she actually saw Beyonce. Like, she was in the same room as her. This year, Beyonce went to a football game for the Cowboys, and she was in a suite. And so inside her office, I could see the empty bottle that was in their suite, and I was just like, wow, could be me one day. And then this is where I started transitioning more into the entertainment side with my interviews. I had the privilege to go to iHeartMedia in Dallas. And so iHeartMedia is a company basically revolving around radio stations here in our area. So such as 102.1 The Edge, Kiss FM, 102.9 Now. And I'm sure all of y'all are familiar with the festivals or concerts that go on annually, such as Jingle Ball or Edge Fest. And they really narrowed down like the specifics and all the routes that I could take with radio. And so really they broke it down into levels. So I don't know if any of y'all have ever driven down the tollway and seen like a little tent by opening of a Care Now or any kind of promotion for their station. That's the first level of coordination that they can do just to get more exposure and marketing and reach their demographics. And then the next level is, of course, having their tent but at a more community event such as Gary Burns Fun Run. And the next level above that would be before concerts. When you walk into the stadium, you have all the radio stations tents from that genre out there. And then finally, there's the large-scale events that are like Jingle Ball and Edge Fest. And the one thing I've noticed with that is that it's more specific to one genre. It's not really revolving around, oh, this artist is coming into town, so we're going to take care of them. It's more focused around their stations and reaching their demographics. And then once a year, they have a huge-scale iHeartMedia Festival. So the national team will go, depending on where it was. I believe this year it was in Las Vegas, and so the team got to travel there. And then I went back to the sports side of my interviews, and I got to go to American Airlines Center and the Dallas Mavericks to shadow Alexa Charpentier and Earl K. Snead. So I actually reached out to Coach Langston right across the hall, he is in charge of DECA, so they go to field trips all the time to American Airlines Center and the Cowboys. So I asked him if he knew anybody, and he was kind enough to give me contact information of originally Gail O'Bannon, but she was so busy and out of the office, so she gave one of her team members my email information, and she got back to me, and she actually gave me 3 dates to choose from to go see a basketball game, which was awesome because I love basketball. And so I was having a hard time decide between the Houston Rockets and OKC Thunder, but I decided to go to the Thunder game. And I got there way before the doors opened just to see all the madness going on in the stadium with the teams, the warm-up, walked across the court. I felt so small compared to everybody. I even got to sit in like the press conference with the head coach for the Mavericks. It was so surreal. And she also introduced me to Earl K. Snead. Totally different field area than what I was planning to go, but it was definitely eye-opening to see all the possibilities. He's actually a sports journalist for the Mavs, so he travels with the team. He shared so many stories that he's had with the team, Dirk, Mark Cuban after winning the championship, and Mark Cuban was actually there, but I never really got in the same room as him, but I saw him there, so that was cool. And one thing they really stressed was just to be persistent and create your own path in this field, because so many people are determining their future by what others expect or what others want them to do. So they just said to listen to yourself and really go after what you want, and you can find a job that you'll love. And finally, Live Nation Dallas, and these are where 2 of my mentors are. It was Viola Harris, Alex Bruno, Stephanie Mitchell, and Tegan Raher. So this was actually really spontaneous. I was actually just going around on LinkedIn and I was like, you know what, why not? Let me go for the big company, Live Nation, see if they have anything here in Dallas. And so I sent her like the little message. I don't know if y'all know on LinkedIn, I felt so desperate. But I was like, hi, I'm in ISM. And she got back to me almost immediately. And I was kind of surprised, taken aback, because she was like, I'm not directly in your field, but I can get a whole group of people in my team that can help you. And they were so friendly. I met with them later that week, and I was kind of intimidated because of like all the people that were in there, but they were so nice and really open to help me. And so Stephanie Mitchell is actually sales, and so she covers sponsorships, and she's the head director for that here in Dallas. And then Viola Harris is a sponsorship coordinator here in Dallas. And then Alex Bruno is on the national team for sponsorship, so she actually directly deals with Red Bull, and the others just work on a smaller scale here in Dallas. And then Tegan Raher is the last picture right here. She's the youngest on the team. She's out of college from Texas Tech, and she's already a marketing coordinator, and she actually went to Centennial here, and so she stressed the importance of interning again. And even just when I met with them, I could tell just how much they wanted to help me, because they admired me reaching out and getting a head start as a high schooler. And so they're very generous, and they even told me like they want to make sure that they introduce me to the people in Houston, because they have headquarters in Houston, California, New York, basically the same as Legends. Anywhere I would want to go and travel, I could definitely go, and they want to help me get to where I want to be, shared my goals with them. And Live Nation is one of the largest entertainment companies in the world right now. They cover artist management, marketing, sponsorship, and even festival coordination. So whether I want to do a small-scale concert at a House of Blues or an amphitheater, they own those buildings. Or if I want to work on festivals, they own major festivals such as ACL, Lollapalooza, and Sasquatch, and they're planning to add a lot more. And even in the mentor process already, I've got to experience staff meetings and see the kinds of talk that real professionals do in this field. And it's kind of surreal because like it's kind of in the movies where there's this head guy talking, he's like, ideas, ideas, and I'm just in the corner like a little intern. But I love the field and it's exciting, and that leads me to my plan for my original work. So today in society, a lot of kids love going to concerts and festivals, and I've noticed like ACL, Edgefest, a lot of the festivals are kind of centralized in indie music, and yes, there may be 2 or more headliners that are in R&B and hip hop, but I really wanted to make a hypothetical concert, kind of spin off of Coachella, but based off of hip hop and R&B. And so I told my mentors this idea, and they're so open to helping me really get all the information out and kind of seeing what brand I want to appeal to, sponsors, and giving me all the basis of information to put my own spin on festivals nowadays. And I'm definitely excited for where it can take me, and thank you.